much.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, nice. So my name is Eleonora. I'm working as a co-engineer at IBM. Really glad to see you all. Before I jump to the actual presentation and panel session, I want to say that the last month, we've been doing a really good job around preparing the whole concept of mentoring session cycle. And we tried to take into account all the feedback from previous cycle and did our best to make the whole way easier to participants. I'm really glad to announce our mentorship program 3.0 already. And today we are going to present the main concept. Let's start. We already organized 2 cycles of this program, and it was extremely successful. I want to present to you some of the highlights. As you can see, we are getting more and more applications from participants, from both mentees and mentors. And it is rewarding for us. Actually, in our previous cycle, we matched 27 pairs. They collaborated during 5 months. I know that today there are a lot of people in the meeting from those 2 cycles, and I'm really happy to see you and thank you for participation. And for your feedback. Most of the feedback was strongly positive or just positive. So this is really nice. And I will show some of the outcomes from mentees. Firstly, my CV was revamped. I changed my LinkedIn profile. I ended up landing in your role in San Francisco. So it makes us thinking that we are in the right direction. And let's look at the outcomes from mentors. Socialization practice. It was great to get another perspective. It was insightful. I improved my coaching abilities. And finally, our small steps made a huge impact. So it feels like the program is pretty helpful, not only for mentees, but also for mentors. We've heard your request too. And this time around, we will try to provide more guidance for new mentors and mentees and opportunities to meet other participants. And a little bit about timeline. We are going to open the registration form for mentors and mentees from 7th or maybe 18th of July. But you'll be the first one who will be registered at this cycle. We will open a matching process from 50th of August to 1st of September. And you will need to pay attention to our emails. If you get something, you need to respond us. If you agree with the match, you can start mentorship. Our end of the program, we expect around 20th of December, and we will have final meeting and final feedback. So you can apply for a mentee if you want to start a career in IT, want to find a better job, you just want to have a support in advancing your career, or apply for a leadership position. And apply for a mentor if you want to extend your professional network, want to contribute to the community, ready to share expertise, or just have a new perspective and learn from your mentees. And I want to mention that it's never too early to start mentoring. We have a lot of areas of expertise. From backend, front-end development, QA engineering, to product manager, engineering manager, network engineering, etc. Languages, Java, C, C++, so everything you can apply. And imagine that you're already in mentorship relationships, and what are the tips? Goals, agree on goals and definitions with the pair. Commitment, agree on the commitment in advance. Session formats, it can be traditional sessions, but also mentors can organize like study groups. Track your progress using the tools you like, for example, Trello, and maybe just simple spreadsheet or any document, and also community. Join our Slack space to hear about mentorship related events and ask questions there if you have any. So here you can find QR code for joining our Slack community. You can do it right now. And also you can register today for next cycle just by scanning this QR code. And we call for volunteers. If you want to help, welcome. We need you. Applications review, PR and social network, host of some events. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, and we will find something interesting for you. And finally, I hope that it will be your feeling after your meeting with your mentor mentee. And I hope you'll be happy, ready for learning new stuff. And I'm really recommend to hop onto this program, apply and share everywhere, and who might be interested in it. So let's see. And yeah, before I will start panel discussion, I want to mention that I personally believe in transformative effect of the mentorship relationships from both sides, mentees, mentors. And I'm pretty excited to bring this topic to the table and discuss it with our amazing speakers. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat. We will have a little bit of time in the end for Q&A session, around 10 minutes. I will pick up very interesting questions from the chat. And thank you for the questions which you provided in the form. I already taken it into account. And yeah, welcome to the panel discussion. Let's start with a short introduction. So I'm already talking too much. Let's start with Irina Kamalova. Just say hi and a few words about yourself.
Hi, it's me again. So I'm a software engineer and I already have like 6 years of experience. And well, I found Women Who Code recently and I started to contribute here as a mentor. Now I feel like an experienced mentor as I had several mentees and I'm happy to share today all my insights.
Yeah, nice. Thank you very much for being here. The next one, Anjali Sharma, technical lead at Beamery. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Anjali, and I've been a backend engineer for almost 9 years now, and I'm a technical lead right now at Beamery. I was really excited to be a part of this discussion because I've been a mentor and a mentee both for last, God knows how many years. So it would be so amazing to talk to you guys and know your thoughts about it as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. The next one, Sowmya Sridharamurthy, product quality leader at Lytho. I hope you pronounced you correct. Yeah.
Absolutely on point. Thank you, Nora. So thank you everybody for joining the session. So I'm Sowmya. I have been in IT industry for nearly 15 years, have played various roles. I started as a developer and then moved on to be a product owner, as a functional lead, as a QA, and then kind of have been an engineering manager and now dabbling around the similar role at Lytho. And I have been, I'm very active in mentoring. I have been a mentee for a while when I started my career, and I thought it's good that I become a mentor and share my experiences. I do mentoring through the mentoring club. and I'm still very active there and happy to be part of this panel discussion.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nadia Zhuk, product engineer at Intercom, please.
Hey everyone, I hope you can hear me well. My name is Nadia. I'm a product engineer, full stack engineer, currently working at Intercom based in London. I'm actually relatively new to the industry because programming is already my second career. I used to be a journalist before I started teaching myself to code. I'm in general very passionate about giving back to the community in various forms, and mentoring, I see it as one way to give back. I enjoy helping everyone, but I'm especially interested in helping people who are career changers like me and who are coming into this world from a non-technical background, people who are self-taught or going through boot camps. And I've also experienced the power of mentorship for me, even though my experience of being a mentee is pretty limited so far, but I intend to fix that. And yeah, happy to be in this discussion and learn from all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Nadia. And Abhipsa Mishra, senior software engineer at TodayTix group. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Nora. Hi, everyone. I'm Abhipsa, and I have been working in software engineering since more than a decade now. I have worked in various roles, and I must say that when I started, I did have mentors to guide me through. So I strongly believe in helping people in the mentorship program. So yeah, happy to share my experience with you all today, and yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'll stop sharing and I will talk like that. So, and let's start our panel discussion actually. So I haven't covered some positive points from mentorship and I did it on purpose. Actually, I just wanted you to give you this task to give the understanding our participants what are the advantages of being a mentor. Why did you become a mentor? And what actually makes mentorship relationships a two-way streets? How can mentee help you in return? And I don't know, maybe we'll start with Anjali.
Thank you, Nora. I somehow don't even remember when I became a mentor. I've been mentoring since I was in college, and we would have a mentor-mentee relationship between the senior and junior students. But I remember one thing that it was my first job, and I was like any other person in the first job, super excited and too much of a pain in the ass probably. So my mentor was the one who helped me settle down, helped me understand what are the growth areas and what is something that I should do to actually understand more about my career, my product itself, to be fair to start with. Like when you enjoy what you're doing, that's when you actually love what you're doing. So when that happened to me, that's when I understood that I think I should also be grooming myself to be able to help others in the way. So since then, I've been mentoring a lot of my peers or even juniors, and it's been a great journey. And like Nadia said, I recently have a mentee who's just changed her career, and she's been in the tech world, very new, trying to understand what to do. So it's so rewarding to have a chat with them and just understand. And to be frank, I learn more from my mentees more than they do probably from me. So yeah.
That's true.
Oh, I would, if I can.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry.
You're mute. Yeah, I just wanted to say.
Okay, so I would just wanted to completely agree with everything that was said. I think that just giving back and mentoring somebody, for me personally, is a way to give back to the community. So when I was starting out, I didn't really have a formal mentor. So I had support and help, but I didn't have someone who was already in the industry and kind of had a successful career who would be guiding me through the journey. And this is probably one of my biggest regrets in my career. And I think that I made so many mistakes and kind of taken some weird turns because I didn't have a mentor who would be able kind of to hold my hand a little bit and kind of tell me that, you know, this is not the way to go, or just give me more confidence. Because I think that in certain cases, for instance, I could have not, I could have left like a bad situation or stood up for myself a little bit more if I had more encouragement and kind of more confidence that somebody would have given me. And this, I really regret not getting the mentor, not finding the mentor early on. So for me right now, the chance to give back and the chance to mentor somebody, and I'm still fairly new to the side of like being a mentor. For me, it's kind of a way to help somebody have the mentor that I never had in the beginning and help them on their journey, especially in the beginning. And also I see this activity of being a mentor as a very high impact, but relatively low effort activity. So like still, of course, it takes time and it requires preparation of the sessions that we have with our mentees. But still, if you think about it, you don't, like you spend some like an hour maybe preparing, then you have your conversation or something like that. But just this 1 hour, or just this one chat, it can actually completely change the direction of this person's life or career, right? Or potentially you can save them like months of time because maybe their resume is not correct, or maybe their CV or maybe their LinkedIn is not like up to, you know, the standard. And it just like kind of, you know, it's kind of just it's hard for me to put into words just how excited I get to see the impact that just some of my words can have on somebody and how it can help them. So for me, it's just a way. It brings a lot of joy. But also, I think that it's not only a way for me to help somebody, but also a way for me to kind of it's a two-way street, as Nora said in the beginning. It's also a way for me to improve my coaching skills, as this is something that I'm interested in developing. So it brings a lot of value, I think, to both sides. And this is what I kind of tell people who are interested in getting the mentor, is that you shouldn't see this as, you know, as you kind of imposing on them or like asking for their time or doing something inappropriate, right? You should see this as a two-way transaction, and that you will both benefit, but just in some different ways.
Yeah, so that was wonderful, Nadia. So in my case, the turning point was nothing related to the career, but more so about me as a person. I come across as a very strong personality, highly opinionated, with a very strong frequency and tone, which is looked down at certain part of the societies in some geographies, which I have been through. And I was cornered. I was named and kind of not pretty much appreciated for those qualities. So I kind of became an introvert, which kind of self-doubting, and I'm not good enough. And if I speak, people don't like me. The kind of self-killing of my own confidence was taking over me. And I don't know, I actually didn't go in search of a mentor, but then I met a person in my first company who started guiding me. It's like involuntarily trying to say, you know, the things which you see or others see as a problem is is a plus point. You have to use it and channelize it in such a way that you can grow. And that person made me really realize that this is great. These are not something which is a negative or a downside of me, but these are my actual armor, and I have to wear it and move ahead. Not just in my career, even in my personal life. It really doesn't matter what people's opinions are about me and how they think or in what lens they look at me. But even today, I appreciate the person because of him, I am what I am today as a person. And I've gained a hell lot of confidence. And that one thing was always in my mind. And I thought, if there is any other person out there just like me who's self-doubting, I want to stand for them. Things have changed over a period of time. It's wonderful to see multiple platforms available where you can help people talk about it, seek guidance. It's not about teaching, but sometimes you just need someone to speak loud, to think about, to retrospect without any judgments. So if there is anyone out there, then I want to be that person. Just stand there as a buddy and help you cope with whatever you're going through. So that's how I started. And then now I see it has grown to the multitude directions. It may be career, leadership skills, personality traits, resume building, finding a job. It has grown to the various levels. So I'm proud of the person or the mentor who made me who I am today. And as well, I'm proud of myself that I'm able to help others in the similar direction. So that's how I started.
You said so many words that really resonate with my experience. And for me, it also was like help to tackle perfectionism, which like I grew up with very competitive guys who learn super quickly, who work more than 8 hours, maybe more than 12 per day. And it was really hard for me. Like I always felt like I haven't achieved anything, or is it enough, everything that I've learned. But when I started to be a mentor, I realized that, oh, wow, but I already know a lot of things. And I finally felt that, well, I have experience and I can share it. And even I just go through so many interviews, maybe more than 100 as like just person who come to the interview. Just even without the experienced interviewer, I already understood that I have so many insights about what they actually asking on the interview. And it really helped me to understand my values as becoming a mentor, and to see that, okay, I already learned something and I already can share something, and it's something that another person wants to achieve or wants to learn. And it's very important that it helps you to have self-reflection on your experience, and you start finally appreciate yourself. So that's for me.
Yeah, for me, I think it's really a combination of all the experiences that everyone else has shared so far. I think it's very important to have a mentor, yes, both to grow personally and professionally. I believe software engineering is like a vast ocean, and you could get lost at any, or you could feel like you're lost at any point. And it's important to have like a mentor as a friend, probably, who you can like speak your heart out, or just need some, whenever you need some genuine guidance, you can look up to. So yeah, I mean, I used to be, when I started my career, I used to be a really shy person, just talking to a few people, or just like getting my work done and leaving, not socializing with many people at work. So I think for me, having a mentor, he actually put in a different perspective into my mind and into my like day-to-day activities at work. The importance of being proactive, or the importance of actually talking to people and getting to know each other better at work. I think gelling with others at work in order to work in a healthy environment. So I think that is also something that I have learned. And professionally, yes, I have tried different roles when I started my career. And I felt lost as to, okay, what path should I actually pursue? And talking to a mentor and getting their, learning from their experience really helps in finding your way. So I think I decided to be a mentor very recently. I think I would say, since I joined Women Who Code, I have been a mentor. I have been talking to people and listening to them. So I think it also builds up your patience as well. You're a more patient listener. You learn from everybody's experiences as well. So yeah, I think that is how I started.
Yeah, nice, amazing. So I see a lot of comments in the chat, and I see how it resonates a lot of people. So that's really nice. Thank you for answers. for your stories. And the next question, when is the right way to start mentoring? The second part of the question is from community. Do you think a junior developer can be a mentor, or does it take years of industry experience to mentor? Who wants to start?
I can start. Well, actually, I had in schools some schoolmates who started to be a mentor for math for people younger, even when they were just in high school. So they already started to train people in middle school. And there was no borders in their mind, like they are not good enough and they are not professional teachers. No, they just started to do it, and they was doing it for money. So, and I'm looking right now on everything from high school, and I understand that even if you go to university, you can become a mentor for someone in high school. And I think it's the best answer on this question. It's never too early to become a mentor. So if you already junior, you already find a job. So you already went through the interview process. That means that you already have experience how it looks like, how difficult is it, what are you feeling on the interview, what they are questioning there. You already can be a mentor for someone who wants to find their first job. Or you can be mentor for someone who only started a university courses like from the first year, and they would like to know how to go finally in this profession. And you even can help them to find some summer internship, and they can quickly learn what it looks like to be in this profession. So that will be my answer.
According to my view, when it comes to mentoring, there's a difference between a mentoring and a teaching. So if you're looking for a mentor about life aspects, how you should live your life, and more about like introspection of you as a person and things like that, it's always good to seek an experienced person who's gone through that ebbs and lows of life and has actually experienced different aspects of life, because they will be able to add in some value there. But if it's something that's more technical and something that's related, that you can easily relate and able to understand, even though you have not worked on it, but then it's something that you have been closely associated with, you follow, like maybe cryptocurrencies or the blockchain. These are something that you're actually not invested, but then you keep following, you have a very good idea about it, and someone asks you some question, need some guidance, then there's no limit at what age you have to start. Because you're good at it and you've been following the market, you have something to add in. So it's really depends on what type of mentoring you're looking for. And it's also good that you change your mentor at a certain phase, that you start with someone and then you see, okay, it's getting flattened out, find the next mentor who can push you up to the next level. So it's kind of usual in the mentor-mentee journey. So this is kind of like my view.
Very well put, Sowmya. I think my view about this is that once you have that attitude in your head that you want to help somebody succeed, you can be a mentor, because there is no definition to be a mentor. There's no specific, because everybody's different, every mentee is different. So everyone would need a certain sort of guidance throughout their, I will not say career, throughout their progress in life itself. So when you say that when is the right time to be a mentor, I don't think there's a right time to be a mentor. Like, as long as you understand that you are able to help the other person, as long as you've had some experience in the past with such a scenario and you have your giveaways from that past. One thing that I would suggest is also have actually a progress or a growth check in between mentorship programs, where a mentee and mentor, they both come together and they both understand that whatever they have been going through, because let's face it, mentorship is an experiment which which is it's supposed to bring better results for the mentee. So you come together, you analyze if things are what the mentee has been desiring to go towards, or if the things have been improving since the relationship is started as a mentor and mentee. I think that would be a good point to check. And like Sowmya said, it's good to change mentors as well. So whatever suits you, whatever suits the mentee, whatever suits the mentor at that time. And of course, it's a relationship that you just have to build throughout, and there has to be no age and time or even format for this.
Yeah, I mean, I also agree with whatever has been said so far. There is no right time, because all phases, all the years that you actually work as an engineer, or even go through the process, it comes with its own set of challenges. It comes with its own set of blockers, probably, and you get to learn as you get to work on, or as you grow on in your career. So I think at any point, there might be several other people who might be facing similar issues or similar roadblocks, and they might be in the same situation as you. So if you would find someone who is willing to help, or who you could actually talk to and learn from their experience and how they've solved that problem for them, I think that is very helpful. It saves a lot of time and energy, and also probably you don't feel stressed out. So yeah, I think there's no right time, and just whenever you feel ready, even whenever you are ready to help, as Anjali said. So yeah.
I would agree with that, but I also can say that maybe you can start helping even before you feel ready, slightly before. When I was in high school, I heard this saying that to be an effective high school teacher, you need to know you just need to be one lesson ahead of your students, which is kind of tongue-in-cheek and not necessarily true. But I think that the principle can be applied here as well. In order to be an effective mentor, you need to be a little bit ahead of your mentee, ideally, because you need to have a little bit more experience or knowledge and be helping them in some way. But you don't need to be a senior or a staff level engineer to help. If you're a junior, has been said, you can help people find their first jobs. And actually, if you're a junior and you just found your first job or your first internship, this is just the moment where you will be in the best position to help, because you remember what it was like. This is all very fresh in your head. You still remember how to go to interviews, how to apply for jobs and stuff like that. Because right now, even if I'm mentoring somebody who is looking for their first job in tech, and I'm advising them on this process, but the memories of finding my first job are already not as sharp as they were when I was doing that. So if you are very new to tech, you actually might be a better mentor for somebody who is learning to code and just trying to enter the industry than somebody who has been there for 10 years, because maybe a staff engineer, they will have no memories of what it was like and things like that. And in terms of when you are ready to be a mentee, because in our chat, I see a lot of people being very self-conscious about themselves and saying that maybe I don't have enough skills, maybe I will be wasting somebody's time. I think that this is also kind of, something like an imposter syndrome, or just being a little bit insecure and maybe not fully understanding why mentors do what they do. And as I mentioned in my kind of previous answer, mentors do this in order to give back. So for them, there is value in spending time with you. So if you ask them a question that you think is very stupid and naive, for them, it's actually brings a lot of pleasure and a lot of satisfaction to answer it and to help you grow. So you shouldn't see this as just taken from somebody, but it's more like a very beneficial relationship to everybody. And I think that as soon as you have some questions and you have some goals that you want to hit, you are ready to find a mentor. I think that you don't need to be at a certain level to look for a mentor, but I think that it's helpful if you at least know what your not problems are, but maybe what the direction is that you want to take. Because if you are completely lost, maybe it might be hard to start a relationship with a mentor, although not always. But I think it helps to have a question or a problem that you're coming with, but your seniority, I think it's not really important here.
Yeah, nice outcome. Thank you very much. So, and to summarize, I would like to say that it's never too early to start mentorship, and it's better to, if you have some questions. If you're lost, maybe you better to go to mentor. And if you have something to share, you can start mentoring. So, and don't be too shy, don't be scared, just start if you have something in mind, and if you feel that you can help people with your experience. So I think that this is a right way to think in the situation. And let's imagine that those people decided to be a mentor actually, and they are new to mentoring. And we faced several situations in previous cycles when first time mentors applied for a program, and they wasn't so sure where to start, where to end, what's an agenda, how typical session looks like, and maybe you can share some advices for them, which resources maybe use, platforms, and so on. Maybe who can start?
Yeah, maybe I can just start. So that when it comes to the mentoring, there are two types. One, who people come in, or mentees who come in just for an advice for a 1 or 2 session because they just wanted some quick tips, or they almost know what they want, but then they wanted someone to just, do the rubber ducking stuff, talking out loud, putting the ideas, and then doing a brainstorming. So that's like the short-lived session. But while the others, some other sessions go in longer time, for the longer period of time. So in such cases, the first few sessions is mostly about understanding each other. There should be a trust that's being set up. I have to build the confidence that I understand my mentee, and my mentee should have a confidence as, okay, she's the mentor that I'm looking for, and she's able to help. She will definitely help me to maneuver my paths to what I'm looking for towards my goal. Unless this trust is set up, no mentor-mentee relationship is going to work. So trust is a basic thing, and seeding this trust is a job of a mentor by first giving the ears to listen to them, their problems, their vision. It's all about, first few sessions is about making notes, understanding them, and asking questions in all ways. So how do you think, or how do you feel about this? Or have you tried that? Have you tried this? When I start a mentoring session, if I started giving ideas and suggestions or the guidance, it's like I'm assuming that this person has done nothing, and that's wrong. So I have to lend my ears to listen to what has been tried already, what's the person's goal, where he or she wants to head towards, and what are the limitations. Some people really have budgetary limitations. They come with a very strong financial backgrounds where they really can't afford anything, or some come with some emotional limits, and we may have to work around it. I remember working with one mentee who was totally drained emotionally for all the various abuses that she had gone through in her personal life. So there was a time when I had to invest a lot of my energy just to pep her up, to gain her that confidence that she's able to do and she can do, and then walk her through what's the next logical steps for her. So what I didn't do is I didn't give do this, not like step 1, step 2, step 3, but mostly like showing, if you walk through this path, you may land up seeing so and so changes. And if you see those changes, get back to me, let's discuss the next step. And this is how the trust is set up. This is how you help maneuver people to the next logical step, to the next logical stage. And because this is a draining exercise for both mentor and mentee, it's always good if it is time bound. So if you're starting your mentoring newly, you're the first time mentor, this is the life lesson that I have learned. It is a very emotionally draining, or it takes a lot of your energy, because you're listening to other person's views, ideas, problems. So you need to have that energy to sit there and listen, process this information, and then come out with some output so that you can guide them. So try to keep it a time bound, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever, but an agreed time limit, try to end the session within that limit so that you have time to go back and still live your life with this thought. This thought is not going to leave you. It will be there in your mind if it is a long run mentoring. If it's a short lived, you may not, you may have a conversation 1 or 2 times and then you forget. So I think I'm talking a lot here. So, but the one thing, if you're starting for new, is make it a time bound, and then also try to build this trust in the initial few sessions, and then you know how the conversation goes. Yeah, that's my experience here.
I totally agree with you, Sowmya, and I totally see that the importance of trust is the firm foundation of a mentorship. I think for me, mentorship is mostly mentee driven, but you have to keep shaping their thoughts about what next for the mentorship. But it's like sometimes we have had recurring sessions, and there was a session where the mentee came into the call, and they were really drained. They were not happy. They were not, but they were here. They opened the Trello board. So that's one of the tools that we used to use, a Trello board to track what we've been doing and what needs to be done and what the final goal is. Open the Trello board, try to go through the tickets and with half heart. And I wanted to understand like what's going on, because such a session will never be fruitful, right? So the mentee had a horrible day and been having horrible times, and she was really just trying to get over with the meeting. So I said, like, let's not do a mentorship meeting today. Let's just sit for that 1 hour and just listen. So she just rented out for that 1 hour, and I just listened. So the format for that had to be changed because as we see that all of us are in tech, and the ones who are developers, they know that your output is going to be 0 or 1, but your mentorship is not 0 or 1. It's going to be 0.25 some days, 0.5 some days. Sometimes it's going to be 1 as well, and sometimes it might even be 0. So you have to cater to that situation and make sure that you have goal from the very beginning. So if somebody is investing time, be it a mentor or a mentee, they're both investing time in it. So they both need something out of it. So there needs to be a fruitful outcome of this relationship. So I think tracking, making sure that fruitful outcome is your main criteria, but you're also catering to the human emotion into that mentorship. I think that's one of the most important things that I have learned, that we should keep things in a format, but there are going to be some days where it's just going to be that somebody's venting out, because you're here to help them, so you're here to listen, and sometimes I don't even give advice because they just want to be heard. They know what to do. Most of the times they actually know this is exactly what I'm supposed to do, but they just want to be heard someday. So I think one of the things for me is that there has to be a format, but that format is going to keep changing based on your mentee. So I like my sessions to be mentee driven and making sure that we are going through the pace that they are expecting to go through. So yeah, that's for me.
I agree with the point that mentees sometimes already know what they should do, but they just need to have some support from you, and just to tell everything that they're going to do and have this like approval. Yes, I'm on the right way. It's sometimes then that asking from my mentors at my current job. We also have like mentorship there, and I just come to them and say, I did this, and could you confirm that I'm still on the right direction, or I'll just already thinking with documentation? And they actually say, yeah, it's normal. And the same for mentees who just started their career. They sometimes need to be told like, yes, it's okay that you don't understand anything that's happening around you. It's normal. And like, yes, it's okay to start and pitching yourself right now to say like, yeah, I would like to have promotion, even if I only started my new job. It's okay. It's also something that they wouldn't do, but if you tell them, they do it, and they say, oh, okay. And about emotions, it's also, I think it's very important to talk about it one mentee come to me and told me like, I want to build career, I want to change this and this, and I also highly sensitive person. And I quickly jumped to the book about highly sensitive persons, and I recommend this book for her. And she started to read it, and she realized that yeah, there are some hints to tackle these emotions and everything else. And I think it's something that it's hard to get his advice from anyone else, but it's definitely what can mentor help. And on the start, I would suggest just to start with goals, like what is your goal and what instruments you can try. And then every session, you can try different format, like first session, mock interview, the next session, reversed lesson, like mentee learn something and then come to you and telling you what they learned. And next session, you do workshop, and you can play with the format and check which one is best for your boss. For example, I had mentee, and the best format that helped us is to do in just mock interview, but we checked several formats. And also, it's very important to keep notes on everything, because in our real life, we change the context every day. And when mentee come to you after 3 weeks, you don't remember what you was talking about 3 weeks ago. So one of the advice to go with documents and to put there like what you've done, what worked, what really helped, and what are you going to do next. It's really helpful.
I find that it's really important to build trust and kind of from the beginning. And I think that for me personally, the easiest way to build trust is to start showing my own vulnerability and kind of exposing myself a little bit in front of a person that I just met. But I think that if we want to build closer relationships, and I think that you need to have a certain you need to have a close relationship with your mentee in order for you to work together successfully. I think that in order to do that, especially if you're remote and you don't have that much time, you need to be a little bit vulnerable and kind of be ready to share things about you that maybe you don't feel super comfortable sharing, like your own struggles in tech or job search or something like that. So this is something that I've been doing with the people that I've been helping to get into tech from non-technical backgrounds, because very often people who are just starting their journey, they look at somebody who is a little bit ahead of them, like a few steps ahead. And it seems that the gap between them and that person is just immense. And they think that maybe this person is special, maybe they have some skills that I don't have, and maybe they will never get to the same point. But actually, while I share things about me and my own difficulties and the challenges that I've faced, it helps people to relax and feel a little bit more confident about themselves. So this is something that I do to build trust, and it's kind of an icebreaker. So if somebody is having troubles with their technical interviews, I will share like how many interviews I completely failed and how awful that was for me. And like I make a joke out of it because like clearly it wasn't that funny at that point, but still I see that it helps them feel a little bit at ease and kind of don't see me as an expert or like not put me on a pedestal. And overall, I strive to have the mentee drive the sessions and kind of decide like what they want to talk about and ask questions and just ask, kind of share their perspectives. And I try to do whatever they feel comfortable doing. In terms of tools, I keep it very simple. We have a Google Doc where we take notes of things that we discuss, and also we can share different, like I can share resources that I find that might be useful. And as Irina said, it's very important to take notes, because I think it would be very embarrassing if you have a lot of stuff in your life, and then maybe you have a couple of mentees and you would come to somebody and ask them a question that would be better asked to somebody else because you completely forgot like what this person is working on, for instance. So I think that to avoid that, it's better to keep notes. And what else? What tools? We just do Zoom calls because my current mentee is based in France, so that's the only option. But I would love to have some mentees in person. I think that it would feel different.
Yeah, from my experience, I think I had been paired with a mentee once who was like, used to be like very anxious and like about to like very eager to get things done, like within that 1 hour or 30 minutes, whatever was scheduled. But I think you need to be a bit patient with someone who is like, and she was like particularly very relatively very new in her career, like she was trying to switch to a technical job from a non-technical background. So she wanted to like probably learn computer science, do coding and everything, and then was quite confused about what to expect of that particular session. So I think in those cases also, it's very important that you help them figure out certain goals, that okay, you need to go step by step and these are the things that we need to do. And yeah, I mean, sometimes they do need to hear like probably some kind words from you to help them settle down or calm down and then use their time effectively. So yeah, I mean, that was one of my experiences where yeah, I mean, I learned that okay, you need to handle different kind of people quite differently, because there might be some people who, as we talked earlier, they just need to hear okay, you are doing great and you can proceed in this way. But there might be some others who could be totally lost and looking for a new direction. So yeah, I think it differs from person to person, really.
Yeah, thank you very much. So to summarize, I can say that to build a really good relationship, we need to first build a trust and discuss a bit, define goals, maybe help them to define goals together, to go through it comfortably. Maybe play a little bit with formats, how it goes, and see what your boss comfortable with. Maybe yeah, and also take notes. So of course have a document, a shared document, and every time you need to look at it and remember and go through your goals. And be patient and have an approach to different persons, because we are still human and we need different approaches. Sometimes it's super difficult to find approach to different persons. Yeah, that's really true. So, and my next question is about difficult matches. Did you have difficult matches, and how you handle it, how you managed it? So,
I can start. Yes. So yeah. So I've had like a very I will not call it difficult, but a very different match once. It was not even, it could also be because I was very young at that time. And it could also be, I was to head one of the marathons back in college. And one of my volunteers and one of the persons who was working with me on that project, he had he was great. He had amazing intelligence, amazing knowledge of the of things, technically super good, great CGPA and everything. The only problem that he had was he did not know how to communicate well. So constructive communication was his biggest problem, and that's not something like Java or JavaScript or Go that you can teach somebody. But that was one of my most difficult match. But it took us almost a year. We worked together the next, and it was really difficult because it was in ups and downs, and sometimes you go out, you get influenced. So one of the very beautiful things one of my managers recently said to me is that the biggest problem with managing / mentorship is that you are dealing with people. You tell them something, they go back, they talk to their partner, they talk to somebody else, and they change their mind and come back. So it was a sinusoidal curve. We started very aggressively on understanding what was the problem with communication and how could he improve and how could he be more empathetic about the communication. And I think being more empathetic worked a bit. A year later, he was elected as a vice president. A year after that, he got into one of the biggest, one of the top 10 B schools, and he's right now working at one of the biggest consultancies. But I think that 1 year or 2 years of his life before, even before the mentorship, and that 1 year during the mentorship, was really struggling to actually change a person who is in his teens or early 20s, because that's where you think that you know stuff, but you're also learning, and to change that and to adapt to that. And I would give like huge credits to him, because he actually changed these things within a year. And after that, because getting elected as a vice president, I know you can still do the business school things, and you can still learn how to crack interviews. But getting elected as a vice president, you have to convince 2,000 odd people to vote for you. So yeah, so he did a really good job over there. So that was one of my most difficult matches, but and one of the most successful ones as well.
So in my case, initially when I started, people used to look at my profile and they used to come with a hidden agenda. But then what happens is, like, as they say, the elephant in the brain, the hidden agendas were different. That wasn't actually communicated. They used to talk only socially acceptable messages with me, like, you know what, I want to learn Agile. I want to learn test automation. I want to learn Cypress. They used to come after the 2 to 3 settings. They slowly started pitching in. Do you have a job in Netherlands? Can I just hop in over there? Can you help me get the visa? Or can I just move to UK? When I was working in UK with Lloyd's Banking Group, can I move to UK? Is there any consultancy that you can put me across with? So it was mostly like a drama. The clear intention wasn't set up properly. And it took me a while to actually analyze and find out who the genuine candidates are and who are actually coming for some other hidden agendas towards me. So that's like, even today I struggle with. People have something else in mind, but the first 2 to 3 sessions, they either shy away to talk directly. We can save each other's time actually, but they don't. And then after a few sessions, they come. So for me, this is a real difficult match. Actually, it's a waste of my time and whoever is gonna put time into this, because visa is not something that I keep in my cupboard that I can just give it to somebody. Maybe I can guide what skills he or she may need, so that those skill set is in a match in the present geography, which can help them find a job. But I am not in a position where I can mend the government rules to get that mentee on board. So for me, this experience even today is a very daunting experience. I'm saving the success stories maybe for a little while later. So maybe I want to share along with others. So kind of like, I'll hold it back.
Yeah, I can tell a bit about experience with not directly mentors, but friends who tried to help me. And some of them have a mindset that actually pressure can help you to learn. And for me, it's hard to work with people when they always give you negative feedback and they say like, okay, your code is shit. But that's their way, how they learn it and how they think that other people have to learn it. Like, you have to be very tough and you have to be very advocate of what you're doing, what I'm building. And I would say that it's example when probably mentor doesn't work for you, or you should decide if you want to go through it. At the end, you can gain a very huge uptake. You have a very huge benefit from it. Like you really learn and you becoming very strong, but they taught you through the pressure. And it's a bit from my background, maybe like it's our culture to learn through the pressure, but it's just something that can happen. And if it's a mentorship program, which is voluntarily, it's your decision to go through it or to stop here and do not go through it. Just you can, if it's voluntarily, you always can say like, okay, it doesn't work for me, and you go. It also can happen on your workplace. So there you have to decide what to do next. This just can happen.
Yeah, for me, so I didn't have any difficult matches, but I had a very weird experience with mentorship. So I was matched to a mentee on this other platform that I'm using. I'm using a platform called Meet the Mentor. It's pretty popular in the UK as well. So I was matched to somebody and we talked by Slack and WhatsApp for a little bit. Then we had a call, which I thought went really well. And we agreed that I would help them with their resume, CV, LinkedIn, kind of their job search materials. So then they sent me over all these documents. I spent some time kind of trying to come up with ways to improve them, made my suggestions. I felt they were all very useful. And like, I still don't know whether I said anything that wasn't quite, I don't know, suitable for this person or what happened. And then I gave other advice about job search, and I felt that it was received very well. But then the weird part came when this person just disappeared, and the communication stopped. And I tried to follow up a couple of times because I was thinking maybe they have some issues or something happened. But then I saw them kind of active online, and I just saw that I was just kind of cut off for some reason. And I think that if this happened a couple of years ago when I was much less confident, I would be like still obsessing about it. And I would be like, oh my God, I'm horrible. Like, what did I do? But now I think that, maybe this was not a good match. Maybe they didn't like my personality or my advice. And like, shockingly, not everybody likes me. And maybe they didn't like me, but they didn't feel comfortable saying that. And, maybe it's easy for us to say, like, if you don't like your mentor, then tell them and kind of break out the relationship. But also, how do you actually do that? So I kind of have empathy for what happened, but it was a strange experience. But I think that this can happen sometimes. And I think that it's maybe we can also say, like, discuss, maybe more experienced mentors can kind of share how can a mentee break off this relationship if they are not happy in a way that doesn't offend the mentor, but also doesn't leave them in this weird state that I was in.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have not had particularly any difficult experiences as such, but I can empathize with what you said, Nadia. I mean, if I'm a mentee and I feel that the talking to my mentor is not taking me anywhere or not solving that purpose, I would probably talk to them politely about that and then end it, rather than, just disappearing and not having any further communication. So yeah, I mean, there's always a good way of doing things rather than just leaving it on a cliffhanger probably, and letting the other person wonder, okay, what actually happened? Was I wrong? What went wrong? And that could also like kind of build up a negative experience in our head about what went wrong. So yeah, I mean, that is what I have to add.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear so many weird situations in your mentorship experience. So, but the outcome, I think, is to not disappear. This is the first. And if you don't feel comfortable to go through this mentorship relationship from both sides, if you feel that you're not good match, you need to discuss it firstly. So, and understand what's the problem. If you feel that there is no way to go through. You need to quit the mentorship relationship, and that's it. And maybe you can find something as Anjali found the way to help the person. Maybe you can go through and help him, her, and it will be really benefit relationships. So this is a really difficult situation, and depends on the situation. But again, discuss. I think this is the best advice we can give you. And the next question. So this is from the community. So if you could go back and begin your mentorship again, what would be the biggest lesson you could teach yourself and mentee? Time traveling question for you. Sowmya, you're ready, I see.
Yeah, so I have done so many so many mistakes when I actually started, but it's a learning for me. So, but one thing that stands out evidently is when you start mentoring, like I said, it should be time bound. And the first thing that you have to set up or an understanding with the mentee is, please come with an agenda, what you want. I want an apple, an orange, a pineapple, everything. That's not going to work. We will get all of those, but first, what you want. Are you interested in apple or are you interested in oranges? Then I can guide you which way to move ahead and then how to grab the fruit from the tree. So having set this agenda is gonna clear up so many communications. And usually what happens is mentee keep jockeying because my friend got a job as a SDET or an automation engineer in Amazon with so-and-so package. I also want to go to that job. I know I want to do that. I want to explore that. So they kind of leave this and then try to hop. And it's a very draining activity. We have to pull them back to let them know you are halfway done here. So there's no point in you restarting things all over again. So it's important that you work your way with the mentor to come up with an agenda. We can achieve all of the thing that's there as a part of your bucket list, but then what's the first thing that you need? Sometimes mentees may also need a little helping hand in finding out or coming up with that priority list. They have 4 or 5 things on their mind, but they are not aware of what they want. So in this way, we have to sit together and brainstorm to come up with this agenda. So this helps to clear up so many things and prioritize the work and guide them towards the goal that they want, one step at a time. So this is one thing which I learned the hard way, and my little, whatever I can say, I can living this as a point to the wider group here.
That's very well put. Oh, sorry, Irina, are you gonna go?
Okay. Well, I have small lesson for me, like sometimes mentee really need only 1 hour from you, because as we said here, they already know what to do. They need only to talk with someone and take an advice. And in this case, do not be scared that mentee doesn't return to you. They already, like a bee takes their flower and they fly away, and just go and find the next mentee and start a new thing, and that's it.
I think that's very rightly put. I agree with both of you guys when you said these things. For me, the biggest learning would be starting retrospective from the very beginning. So there is no point, like we have already discussed, that there's no point in being in a mentorship relationship if neither of you are benefiting from that. So which is why eventually, when I understood how these things progress, we try to do that retrospective where we would do a certain period of mentorship and then go back and reflect on it to see that if it's actually helpful, or if it's not, then I think the mentee would happily want to go and find another mentor that might help them, because here everybody's time is very, very precious. So I think initially I should have done these things from the very beginning and optimized how a mentorship session goes.
Yeah, I totally agree with what has been said so far by everyone. I think also one important fact is empathizing, giving a patient ear to whatever the mentee is saying, even if you have not been in that position in the past, thinking about what you could have done differently if you are in that position, or just in order that you can give them an answer to help them out. So yeah, I mean, sometimes just listening and a kind word goes a long way and boosts up their confidence. So yeah, I think that is one thing that I have probably learned from the process so far, mentoring different kinds of people.
For me, I would say that the biggest lesson in all of this is to start sharing earlier than you feel comfortable with, and kind of start helping people as early as you can, teaching them. It can be coding skills, it can be just career skills, or kind of coaching and mentoring them in their career. And also, like, it doesn't have to be this formal program through some website or through an organization or anything like that. It's just that you can look for ways to mentor people at work. So for instance, if you have a colleague who is struggling with something and who you feel that they are lacking confidence and this is holding them back, you can try to mentor them and kind of coach them and tell them, teach them from your experience and help them grow as an engineer or in another, profession. And this is something that I've done as well. So I find all of this very rewarding, and I think that it just helps me grow a lot as an engineer and and as a person as well. So I think that we all should be looking for ways not only to kind of teach people, but also to look for help. I think that in various countries and cultures, there is still a lot of stigma around seeking help and kind of admitting that you have problems, and this kind of can be said about like mental health, but also career and things like that. So people are not comfortable with asking for help and just admitting that they're like lost or struggling or something like that. So if you are coming from this culture, for instance, I am, like Eastern Europe is still like not there in accepting that things are not always great, and like admitting your feelings and your struggles is still not really something that people are comfortable with, a lot of people, especially older people. So I think that if you have this background, it can help to try to just kind of dip your toe in this world of mentorship. And I think this program that we're launching with Women Who Code is a good way to try and see whether you like it or not. And then, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. It's all voluntarily done.
Yeah, nice comments. So it really resonates me, and I should summarize it a bit. Try to start sharing as early as possible. Try to do retrospective. Try to catch up with your goals. Try to check if you're close enough to your goals, or you need try to something else. If it doesn't work, you can do something else, or maybe you can quit your mentorship relationships. So there are many words, many really great advices from you. Really appreciate it. So we have just 7 minutes, but I know that Sowmya the success story, and yeah, I just want to learn it from you, Sowmya. Just you mentioned during the panel discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm very proud of 2 of my mentees. More than me, I want to give the credit for them. Because when they started, they absolutely started. They came from the arts background, the visual arts, and they wanted to make a career in the software industry. So when they came in, they were pretty transparent to say, we want to be part of this industry simply because the pay is good and we want to make the most before we grow old. And I appreciated because they were clear for what they came here for, to make money. And they were pretty clear that they wanted to be a part of software development because they know there were bugs involved in it and they were ready to give 100%. As bad as it sounds to hear when I explain it, but what I appreciate is they were very, they had a clarity in what they're aiming in their life for the next 10 years. And after 10 years, they had some other plans. Okay, so we started from the scratch. So a visual art student moving to a software industry, picking up things. Even after like 4 years of my engineering and 2 years of my MBA, I still struggle to understand certain concepts. But it was amazing to see how we started together as a scratch. We chalked out a plan where to start from, the basics. And like I said, I just guided them, and all the onus is on them because they literally worked hard. And I'll tell you, one of the person, like my other panelist mentioned, she's in a very good position in Deloitte. I wouldn't like to take the name, but she's an engineering manager. Like as planned, she's about to quit in next year. She has some other plans. And the other person went on to start up his own consultancy. And he's doing really great. He's a good business turnover happening back in India. So I'm very proud of them, of what they have become today. Yeah, I'm very happy. You can see my face is lit up when I think about them. But having said that, I also have a very bad experience. I wouldn't actually paint it as a bad experience, but when we started with a mentee, maybe our mode of communication or maybe our language or our culture didn't match the way we speak. It's quite natural, but we identified pretty early in the stage, in the third or fourth session, that this is not sitting well. We cannot be a good Lego to make a good picture. So we kind of, respectfully parted our ways. And this happened twice, thrice with me. But the lesson here is, when this happens, you shouldn't start self-doubting that, oh, I'm not the right person. Maybe you are right, but not just for that person. So he moved on to find a better mentor who's supposed to be my friend in the same industry. And they are pretty much clicking well with each other, which I'm pretty proud of. We are still in contact, but then I'm just no more his mentor. So it's like both the sides are there. As long as we are positive to take the feedback, I guess we're going to enjoy this journey.
Nice stories. Thank you very much. So I picked up one question from the chat. So there are a lot of comments there, but I tried too hard to do it. How to set up boundaries while being vulnerable at the same time as a mentee? Who wants
Nora,
to...
is it okay to repeat the question? I guess
Yeah.
How to set up boundaries while being vulnerable at the same time as a mentee. So, how to? I
guess I didn't understand the question completely in its entirety. So, is it okay if you can come online and ask this question and elaborate this question?
Yes, yourself and ask what you meant. Who it was? Maybe it doesn't know it.
How to set the boundaries and be vulnerable as a mentee?
Yeah, as a mentee, yeah. You mean
hello?
set boundaries?
Yeah, hi. It was my question. Actually, I feel like I can open up to my mentor really well, but the thing is, I don't want to cross their boundaries or be inappropriate in any way, because they are not my friend, right? So I don't want to treat them like a therapist either. So be good mentee and not be all over the place, basically. Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it Shabana?
Yeah.
Shabana, you're supposed to be all over the place. Otherwise, you don't need mentee. You have to be all over the place. So that's the first place you start with because you don't know which way to go. Now, coming to where you have to draw the boundaries, as long as we are not entering personal space of each other and limiting our discussion to the goal, to the path, to the aim, prep, it's all good. So neither of them have to know each other's personal background unless you have spent enough time and you feel comfortable sharing your personal side of the story, and which can add up a great value actually. But as long as you feel trusted and believable, just do it. But otherwise, just stick to the plan. I mean, this is like kind of my point of view. I guess the other panelists have much more to add. So
I agree with Sowmya though here that if you had it all together, you would not need a mentor, right? So it's okay. And I understand your point as well, Shabana, where you want to see how much you can share so that you feel that you're getting the most of it. I believe that trying to stick to your goal from the mentorship would help you out. Just ask yourself a question that will this help me in achieving my goal or not? If it will, then there's no harm sharing it. Whatever it is, I think you should be sharing with your mentor if that's helping you achieve your goal. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I can just add a bit here, I think if we treat our mentor as a close friend, probably we open out more and get the best of the time and the relationship that we share. So I think it's very important to actually speak your heart out, like everything to your mentor in order to get a solution to your problem.
yes, during the problem setting statement, sharing everything that's there out in your mind clogged here is very important. But if that is how your every session is going, then it's clear indication that something is not working out. So, so yes, the first 2 to 3 sessions when you run, have a conversation. It should be a heartfelt conversation, be transparent as much possible, and share all the information that you feel comfortable about. Like for me, example, I'm not comfortable talking about like my family, like who stays along with me and then what's going on in my life. And that's completely okay. But if you're in a position that it matters to the session and it adds value to the session, feel free to do it. But as long as you build the trust with the mentor.
Yeah, nice answer. So I think that also you don't need to cross human boundaries, but generally you need to be like a friend to talk loudly and discuss openly. So that's great advice. So and unfortunately, we're already close to the end and we're already in the end. So thank you very much, dear panelists, for this great discussion. I really enjoyed it. I also learned a lot. I learned a lot about different relationships and mentorship experience. And this is really valuable. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well with me. So please follow our social media to follow our news and posts. We will be announcing our mentorship program very, very soon, today, tomorrow. So stay tuned and see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.